when we talk about IoT devices and IoT use cases, and also depends on the use cases, right? Blockchain is bringing a crucial part here.
Hello world, this is BetterTech, a podcast where we chat with some of the most successful leaders about the latest industry developments. So join us as we explore the world reliant on tech. This episode is brought to you by Techcell, a leading software development company. Check them out at techcell.com. Today we're joined by Misha Hanin, CEO DeepDive.Tech, and a trusted technology advisor with more than 25 years experience to tell us more about how blockchain serves as a good solution to cybersecurity issues. So just to familiarize our audience with what it is that you do, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi. My name is Misha Hanin, and I'm a CEO of a company called iRangers and CEO of a company called DeepDive.Tech.
Right.
Actually, those companies part of the DeepDive Group. And DeepDive Group, it's an association of multiple entities that bringing together solutions around technology and actually addressing the multiple pillars. As an example, iRangers, it's a company that brings a lot of focus around cloud technology and integration with cloud and between clouds, and helps big enterprises around the globe to shift workloads to the cloud services. At the same time, DeepDive is, I love to say, boutique company that brings tailored software development solutions to the same enterprises, and with a huge focus on blockchain ecosystem. End of 2009, beginning of 2010, was involved in a lot of blockchain-related projects. And one of the main topics, main reasons why I loved blockchain, it's actually cybersecurity. This is a little bit about myself.
Thanks for sharing that, Misha. So getting right to the topic, I am, and I think your audience as well, is pretty interested to know that as someone who's been in the blockchain industry since 2010, how do you think the technology has evolved in the last decade, and what are some of the major changes you've seen with blockchain as a service? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
It's a really interesting question, because if you ask me, unfortunately, I do see that a lot of years since 2010, even still now, we hear blockchain together in conjunction with crypto. Okay, and almost from first day I was talking about, like, guys, blockchain is much more than crypto. Crypto is just small use case.
Right, yeah.
Okay. And we do see a lot of new stuff in blockchain since 2010. A lot of new functionalities, a lot of new features, different consensus mechanisms. Of course, everything started as a proof of work. Now we have proof of stake. We have DPoS. We have multiple consensus mechanisms embedded in one blockchain. As an example, Hyperledger supports multiple consensus mechanisms in the blockchain. So we do see a lot of activities around that and a lot of innovations in this field. Okay, but unfortunately, we still do see a lot of buzz, if I may say that, around crypto, and a lot of real value of blockchain, especially in cybersecurity, still going kind of under radar, and media is not talking a lot about it. Like, we can hear again some buzzwords like blockchain increasing security and things like that, but again, if you go and see what's going on from the media and marketing perspective in regards to blockchain, majority of news we see about, blockchain will be used by this financial institute. This bank is planning to use blockchain to increase transactions and things like that. It's more or less around the financial sector and not around the real value of blockchain.
So in your opinion, the potential for blockchain technology in the field of security especially is vastly unexplored?
I do see that potential of blockchain is not uncovered yet. And it's not even not uncovered yet. There is a lot of people that do see it, the real potential of blockchain. And a lot of organizations and entities around the globe already playing with it and integrating it. A lot of organizations, even in Dubai, using blockchain already in production. Okay, and of course, one of the main reasons why they started to do this is security. Okay, so yes, it's happening. But I wouldn't say that the real value of blockchain really recognized and really got the required attention or attention that it really should be to this technology.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, I think it's still growing. And increasingly, companies like NASA are implementing blockchain technology to boost cybersecurity via its distributed ledger technology that is often associated with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So can you elaborate on this technology's viability and how exactly it can help with cybersecurity solutions?
So NASA, yeah, like I wouldn't say just NASA, like a lot of big entities around the globe playing, and I want to emphasize on word playing with blockchain technologies. We can see a lot of big corporations declaring that they're starting the proof of concept, some MVPs around blockchain technologies. Okay, not a lot of organizations really took blockchain to production environment yet. Okay, and unfortunately, as I said, like a lot of companies, a lot of people around the world talking about when they're mentioning blockchain, in their mind they automatically think, oh, it's a crypto, it's a Bitcoin. Okay, right. I always said crypto is just a small use case of the blockchain. Okay, if you ask me. Yeah, it's just a small implementation, some use case of the technology. Okay, and I'm pretty sure NASA is looking at the blockchain technology not because of crypto capabilities or not because of Bitcoins. Okay, it's not a secret that blockchain technology. And by the way, now more and more we hear term DLT, distributed ledger technology, rather than just blockchain. And when we discuss this technology with enterprises, it's definitely more common way of calling this technology right now is DLT, distributed ledger technology. Yeah. Okay, and it's not a secret that DLT brings a lot of advanced capabilities that majority of legacy infrastructures not providing. Okay, things like distributed ledger, things like different level of security. Okay, and things like speed of transactions when it's needed, and flexibility of integration of multiple components or multiple entities that back in the days, of course, was possible, but with a different different effort and different cost associated to it as well. Okay, so I do believe that organizations like NASA looking at blockchain technology, DLT, because of the benefits of like everything what I mentioned before, and security is one of them, for sure.
Yeah. And what are some other use cases for this technology? Like you mentioned, DLT is one. What about decentralized storage solutions? How can it help with that?
Decentralized storage solutions. I hear a lot about this in regards to the blockchain. Okay, it's important to remember that blockchain itself, in many cases, wasn't built to store a huge amount of data on the blockchain.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one of the challenges that many projects are facing. However, there is a amazing uh, integrations and amazing use cases where blockchain can be used and should be used with decentralized as a decentralized storage solution. When we look on a blockchain as a sidechain. So, for example, we can keep storing encrypted data on some sort of storage solutions and use sidechain as a reference of storing the integrated pieces of the data on the blockchain itself. Okay, so if you start looking around, for example, projects like Zen Horizon talks a lot about sidechains, and it's actually blockchain with the sidechain. So it's some sort of integration between multiple entities that few years ago was not possible to integrate stuff with a blockchain. Now with the solutions like sidechain integration, we getting opportunity to do this. And decentralized storage solution, it's actually one of the use cases where the sidechain that drastically can change the landscape of blockchain use cases. So this is how I see it. I do believe it will come more and more because the decentralized storage solution is definitely something really on a shallow level of the blockchain use cases. But it also depends on the amount of data that we would like to store. As an example, if you want to store a contract, a document like a PDF file that is not so big in size, so yeah, definitely it could be stored there. In health industry, in health sector, more and more we hear about blockchain integration and patient records is going to be stored on a blockchain. So of course it will be considered as the decentralized storage solution in this case. Okay, but it's also important to remember what kind of data we are going to store there and what size. In some cases, it's going to be some sort of hybrid mode. Data on particular size, let's say up to, and I'm just throwing this to the air, up to 1 megabyte of size can be stored directly on the blockchain. And if we need to store something much bigger, let's say X-ray in a really high definition picture, then we can store it on some sort of external storage and integrate this through side chains with the central blockchain.
It also offers new opportunities to upgrade the security of IoT devices. So perhaps have you come across some use cases for cybersecurity in conjunction with IoT? What do you have to say about that?
IoT, it's really interesting topic actually. When we talk about IoT, and if you look back for just a few years ago, right? Yeah. Majority of DDoS attacks in the world was done by leveraging IoT devices that distributed around the globe. IoT, it's really hot topic right now, and almost everybody talks about it. I do see IoT now as probably another big buzzword like a blockchain. blockchain and crypto, whatever, like IoT definitely in the same list together with artificial intelligence and machine learning, right?
Yeah, these are all buzzwords.
So it's there. It's all buzzwords. I do believe IoT has amazing future. We do see IoT already everywhere around us. Unfortunately, we see that not so many companies really care about security when they developing some IoT solutions. Some of the IoT devices still using some code that was developed 10 years ago and never updated. Okay, some Linux libraries that never was touched since the first day of development. Okay, and blockchain definitely bringing a lot of security advantage here.
Yeah.
I would encourage everybody to take a look on the project that's called IOTA, IOTA. It's technically the blockchain project that is really talking about IoT ecosystems and IoT devices in the world. And it's probably one of the top projects that right now is really doing a tremendous amount of work to change the cybersecurity landscape around IoT, and actually tries to merge two technologies together, like IoT by itself and the blockchain capabilities. So real work is happening around this for sure.
So how exactly does that happen? How does blockchain actually upgrade the cybersecurity aspect to IoT devices?
Before answering this, I would probably say let's do some step back, okay, and just talk few words about security.
Sure.
What is security, right? Security, first of all, we need to remember that there is no silver bullet in security, okay? Mm-hmm. And when we talk about security, we need to always remember that security should be treated as a compound effect. And so security never stops. Yeah. Never stops. We constantly need to talk about security. We need to do stuff around security. And we constantly need to add different layers, okay? It's not enough to build the house and put the lock door on the main door. We also need to be sure that every window to this house is secured. We need to be sure that the perimeter of the house is secured. We need to be sure that the house, we have a alarm system, video surveillance system, where we have a monitoring system. We have many different layers that are helping us to protect the house. So cybersecurity is a kind of layered approach. Okay. And keeping that in mind, blockchain, when we talk about blockchain and cybersecurity, blockchain is additional layer in a cybersecurity ecosystem. Okay, it's not the silver bullet that, let's move to the blockchain and immediately we will be secure. Definitely not. Okay, but blockchain brings really tremendous improvement in cybersecurity landscape. And when we talk about IoT devices and IoT use cases, and also depends on the use cases, right? Blockchain is bringing a crucial part here. Let's take just one small use case. We have some sort of IoT device that collects the metrics.
Right.
Okay, and some metrics, and it's really important also to remember what kind of metrics, right? Yep. And this kind of metrics get delivered to the world by leveraging blockchain ecosystem. So in this case, the data can be stored on a blockchain, can be stored in encrypted way, and actually get distributed around the globe with full anonymous mode posture and also encrypted, right? But again, it's we need to see this case by case. So, for example, we will take a look on wearable devices. let's say your Apple Watch, okay,
Right.
that constantly monitors your health,
Yeah.
right? And this data, it's actually your data, and this data is really considered as a big privacy data, correct?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You definitely don't want anyone to see your heart rates, your health status, without your consensus on that.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how this data going to be transitioned and to whom? So, for example, imagine this situation. This data your Apple Watch collects your health status, and suddenly transitions this without even your consensus to someone, let's say to Apple, or to any entity that down the road sells this data to some insurance company. And based on this data, next year, insurance company increasing your health insurance by 2x.
Yeah.
Because they did some data analysis, and they see the risks that you might have a heart attack in the future,
Right.
just based on the data that get collected from your IoT device.
Right.
And all this data was transferred to someone without proper security, where the blockchain can introduce this proper security, right? So this is kind of case by case scenarios, but definitely blockchain brings a lot of security improvements, not just to IoT, but IoT probably one of the top use cases right now, where blockchain security is gonna play the crucial role.
Yeah, I think it's great that you mentioned this distinction that blockchain is a solution to cybersecurity, yes, but it's also like one layer to it and not the whole thing itself. So would you characterize using blockchain to prevent fraud and data theft, for instance, as an innovative use of the technology? Is that something that you've seen in recent years?
Yes, we do. Okay, and it's really interesting topic when we talk about blockchain, when we talk about security, when we talk about anonymous transactions, when we talk about privacy, and when we talk about some illegal activities associated with the blockchain. Okay.
Right.
So, so as an example, a lot of negativity that we hear about blockchain, it's actually tied to use of crypto on a dark market. Okay. To be honest, I do laugh when I hear this. Like always, I laugh about this, because for me it sounds like a joke. Okay, because the biggest asset that they get traded on the dark market for all human history, it's real fiat money. Okay, when we will go to dark market and we'll see what currency is the most popular currency in the world, it's probably US dollar. Okay, and it's still happening this way despite the crypto. Okay, so we see a lot of activities right now going on around blockchain, privacy, security, and a lot of things, a lot of startups actually get created around the KYT and KYC technologies, like know your client and know your transactions. Okay, and with those technologies and with those concepts, we do see that in some cases, the philosophy of blockchain, where like everything should be 100% anonymous, nobody should know the real name of the entity that initiates the transaction. Doesn't matter what kind of transactions. It was the initial philosophy of blockchain. It's actually a little bit get away, and especially when we talk about enterprise usage. Okay, when we look on the big enterprise use cases, those organizations, they don't care. They want to know who initiated the transaction, who initiated this flow. They want to know the entity. Okay, of course they want to leverage the blockchain technology, but they don't care about hiding all the details about the entity that initiated the transaction. When we take a look right now, even like, I don't like this topic, but let's talk about crypto for a second, okay?
Okay.
When you want to work with crypto and you want to exchange, let's say, your Bitcoins, you want to sell them somewhere or convert them from Bitcoins, let's say, to Ethereum or to IOTA coin, okay? You go to exchange, and let's say you go to Kraken. You're going to identify yourself. They're not going to allow you to do any activities without you providing the scan of your passport, providing all the information about yourself. So from one angle, it's totally against all the blockchain philosophy. Okay, yeah. But nowadays it's needed to address anti-money laundering situation, to deal with anything related to the KYC, KYT, right? So, it's okay. Like, if you ask me, it's okay. If you're a legit person, you have nothing to hide, like from this perspective, okay?
Right.
So all those exchanges, they do know all information about us, okay? And even the fact that the transactions on the blockchain supposed to be fully anonymous, it's not the case anymore, okay? At least for many blockchains. And enterprises are absolutely okay with this, and it's probably the new reality, right, around that. So, but on many forums, you can see a lot of fight between people about this new reality. Okay, that companies and organizations kind of killing the real philosophy of a blockchain. But if we really want to see the huge adoption of the technology, it's probably the price that we all will need to pay. And some adjustments on the privacy and anonymous philosophy of blockchain should happen, for sure.
Yeah, interestingly, like you mentioned this loophole with the technology itself. I'm just curious that being a security-driven measure, blockchain itself is exposed to various risks. And is there something that impacts its usability for cybersecurity solutions?
You know what? Talking about security and blockchain, I did 2 years ago. I did a big presentation at the World Blockchain Forum. And my topic was exactly what hackers can do on a blockchain, and is blockchain is really secured?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, blockchain is secured. Okay, but we also need to remember how hackers think. Okay, so sometimes for hacker, it's not important or not necessary to hack something. It's enough to integrate some disruption and to decrease the performance.
Right.
Okay, I'll give you one example. It happened about 2 years ago. Ethereum blockchain, one of the most popular blockchains on earth. And we always hear like blockchain is secured.
Yeah.
So what hackers did at that point, they organized one of the biggest DDoS attack in the history of Ethereum. Okay, and this DDoS attack happened by leveraging the application CryptoKitty on Ethereum blockchain. As the result of this attack, Ethereum wasn't hacked at that moment, but the performance of the entire Ethereum network degraded so big that a lot of analysts started to raise the flag that if this DDoS attack will continue for longer, entire Ethereum blockchain will go down.
Mm-hmm.
So now think about this from the perspective of enterprise. Your line of business application is running on the blockchain that I'm as a hacker don't need to hack. I just can introduce the huge delays on the performance.
Yeah.
So by doing this, I technically hacking your line of business application, because my goal was to take down your application.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need directly hack your application. I can indirectly hack your application. Okay, so blockchain is really secured, but there's many ways to even deal with this kind of situation, like how hackers can interfere with the blockchain.
Right.
Okay, from security perspective, of course, it's harder, much harder, and especially when we're talking about doing some changes on the records, it becomes really hard. Okay, is it possible? Yes. Okay, like if anybody will ever declare that they developed a secure solution that unbreakable, I probably will say that they still need to learn some cybersecurity principles. There's nothing unbreakable in this world.
Right.
Everything is possible, right? But yeah, definitely blockchain brings this to the different level and makes it harder and harder every day. Okay, and but almost everything is possible. Okay, but things like changing the records that already stored on a blockchain is really not easy. Okay, of course, depends on the blockchain, right? If I can organize a 51% attack that's gonna cost me just few thousand of dollars, and the change of record will bring the value to me of millions, it's easy to do, right?
Yeah.
But if data stored on blockchain like Bitcoin, organize 51% attack, right now it's going to cost much more than thousands of dollars, right? So it's all coming to this calculation. By the way, there's some initiatives around this kind of security, where the idea is really interesting idea, where the data that should be stored in really high security, with the high security principles,
Mm-hmm.
this data get shredded on multiple pieces. Each piece is get encrypted by different algorithm, and then each piece gets stored on a different blockchain at the same time. Okay. And then when you need to get access to this data, you actually need to get all those pieces that stored on the different blockchains that leveraging different consensus mechanisms. You will need to get all this together, decrypt each piece separately, and put those pieces together, and then decrypt, and the only time when you will get access to the data. So again, you see, we adding additional layers and layers and layers of protection.
Yeah.
Okay, we're constantly following the same principles of cybersecurity. Let's add more layers. Let's add the hacker's life harder. This is kind of the another way to looking at that.
Right. So just to wrap things up, I believe that I'm more interested to know that with the pandemic going on, COVID-19 has brought increasing cyber attacks, as you might have read. How do you see that? What would be the long-term impact of COVID-19 on cybersecurity, and how do you see again blockchain helping combat those?
Probably the easiest response will be really simple. We will be required to leverage blockchain as much as possible when we deal with with things like that. Because right now, if we will take a look how much fraud information about COVID is flying around the world, it's just insane.
Yeah.
How much wrong news, fake news around COVID on Earth is really insane. What hackers doing with the with phishing around COVID, it's crazy. One of the ways to validate the intent, genius of the news, genius of the information, is by leveraging the blockchain. Okay.
Right.
To validate if the information is really real information and it's coming from the trusted sources.
Yeah, so it's authentic.
Right? So definitely it's a blockchain. Could it be done without blockchain? Probably, but why? Like, why to reinvent the wheel if we already have a solution that really sits on the table? We just need to take it and use it.
That makes sense.
Okay, so I do believe that it's going to be the case, and blockchain will be really in the front line to address this technology challenge right now.
Makes complete sense. So that's all we have for time today. Thanks, Misha, for joining us.
Likewise, I really enjoyed it. I can talk about this topic forever.
Thanks for listening to this episode by BetterTech. If you enjoyed this podcast, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share it across your favorite social networking platform. We look forward to bringing you the latest industry news in our next episode. In the meantime, take a look at our other episodes and hit subscribe with the links in the description box below so that you don't miss out on the latest in tech.